Welcome back to the channel. In this video we're looking at how to capture the output of tables from Markdown files in Hugo and then how to style those tables so you can get custom styles added to your Markdown tables. Just assume you'll have the latest version of Hugo installed and it's required. Only the newest version of Hugo at the time of recording actually support this, and you're also going to have Visual Studio Code installed and set up. I've got a video link above which walks you through installing everything you need for Hugo, so check that out. In this video you'll learn how to create a table render hook, how to create a table in Markdown, and then how to style that table using Markdown attributes. And also we're going to be using Bootstrap just to keep the table styling simple, but you'll be able to apply any CSS you like. So you need to have a folder open where you'd like to put your project. I'm going to open up a new terminal and we're going to use Hugo new theme, then put the name in it for it. So I'm going to call it table render hook. And the trick here is we then use themes dir with a capital D, and we put a full stop in to signify the current directory. So it actually merges the theme with a project for us. We can open that up in Visual Studio Code. We can get to work. First thing you need to be able to do is set up the table render hook. There's links in the description below, as well as a link to the finished project. Now we're going to have to enable attributes because we want to be able to put in custom classes for the table. And by default, that skeleton theme that I just showed you how to set up is set up with toml. So I'll copy that text, and then we'll go into our hugo.toml, pop that on the end and save that. Then go to terminal, new terminal, and we'll run Hugo server. And you can control click on the address to open it up in the browser. All right, we're going to go to post 1 and we're going to insert a table there. So let's go back and have a look at how that works. So I've left this link in the description as well. It's just a guide on it's a standard Markdown guide for the Markdown standard. We've got tables here. We're going to go ahead and have a go at the table alignment example because we're going to be pulling those styles into our table. So we'll copy the example, and then we'll go and find in content, posts, and post 1. We'll pop that in at the end and we'll save that and have a look in the browser. You can see that Hugo's doing a great job on its own at rendering that table. It's also set up some styles for us. So have a look at it. You'll see that it's put a line center, a line left, and a line right in for us based on the Markdown that we provided. But we haven't actually styled that table, and we want to implement some custom styles for that table. The Hugo Docs page. If you scroll down, we've got an example here for a table render hook. And this will do exactly what we've just seen take place. We're going to copy and paste this in and we'll get the exact same result, and from there we can customize it. Now, it sits inside the layouts and default. We've then got to make a folder called _markup, and then we're going to create a render table HTML file, and that's our render hook. So we'll go into layouts folder and default. I'll create a new folder, _markup, and then a new file in there, render table. Now you can actually create, if you had some folders set up here for different page styles, you could actually create a different render hook. We're running our markup folder in the default folder, but you can create customized render hooks for different parts of your website. So what we'll do, we'll paste in the example, copy that, and we'll paste it in there. Now, here we've got inline styles here. We're going to later on customize that, but for now we'll just save it. We'll run it at how it renders, and it should be exactly the same. Got no issues there, but now what we're going to have a look at doing is how we can add a custom style here in table, and how we can customize the way that the alignments are being applied, because I think it's much better to add classes there rather than inline styles. To keep things simple, I'm going to use Bootstrap for CSS, just as I was having to write it out in this tutorial. This tutorial isn't about how to create CSS for tables, but how to customize them with Hugo. So we'll copy their CDN link. We'll go into layouts and then partials and head. We'll paste in that CDN CSS link. And now that we've already enabled Markdown attributes for blocks, what we can do, we've already put that code in to enable blocks. If you scroll down and have a look, you'll see that there's a few ways that it can happen. And generally speaking, for example, code blocks, you've got to put your attributes to the right of them and also headings, but everything else, the attribute will go underneath. So we've got an example here. I have a code block and then they've put a class underneath it. So we'll just copy that example. Go back into post 1 and underneath we've got that attribute coming in there. We'll change class to table, so that works with Bootstrap. So save that and have a look in the browser. So now if you look at table, we've got our custom class sitting in there. If you want to set up some logic so it got applied automatically, you could, but you're much better off being able to customize that directly in Markdown. Now, we're going to have a look at how to customize the style here as well. So we're going to get rid of that inline style and apply some classes instead. Some really simple logic. And if you are going to use Bootstrap, there's a heap of different table styles that are available. So we're going to variants of tables, for example. Lots of different styles that you can apply to the table, but that's just Bootstrap. You might be working with CSS, and this isn't a styling video. So to our render hook, currently we can see here that for table headings and for table cells, we've got the inline style being applied. Let's have a go at changing that into just a class. So what we'll do is we'll just keep the printf part. We don't need to worry about safe HTML attribute. And instead of text align, we'll just do text hyphen. And then we're going to get the three options are text left, text center, and text right. And we'll put in a class equals some double quotes around that. And copy that into the table heading as well. Now, if you're using pure CSS, it'll be up to you to work out classes you want to apply. We'll just make sure we get rid of that space before the %s so that our classes actually work properly. And if you look in the inspection pane on the right, we've got text left, text center, and text right getting pulled in for both the heading and also in the body. Got those coming in. So that's how we can apply some custom classes as well. If we look at Hugo's table render hook, you'll see further up under table cells, that's the three options there under alignment, left, center, and right. They're the three options we can choose from. So that's it for this week's video. I hope you found it useful. Remember to hit that thumbs up button if you liked it. Remember to subscribe to the channel and hit that bell notification. We're putting out weekly videos on current and future web technologies with static site generation, a big one, and Hugo. And I'll see you in the next one.